New WARBOND was just announced yesterday, and the reception to it was not as universally loved as one might think. A lot to talk about, so let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the WARBOND first, and then we can delve into the reaction and my thoughts. Masters of Ceremony will be dropping May 15th, probably with the new content update. The theme of Masters of Ceremony is a nice mix of both Color Guard and World War I vibes clashing together. We are going to have the usual 2 armor sets, 2 weapons, 1 stratagem, 1 booster, a title, 1 grenade, 2 backgrounds, 2 capes, and an emote. Let's talk about the weapons. If you're a fan of the aesthetic of the Constitution, well, now the Amendment will be another weapon in your arsenal you can use. It will be a 20 round mag semi-automatic marksman rifle, so probably going to be similar to the Diligence in effectiveness, which I think is awesome. As well as for our melee divers out there, you will be finally getting a sword. As well as you'll be getting a nice throwable grenade that's going to be similar to an incendiary grenade mixed with a Beyblade with the thermite effect sparks. Its effectiveness, I obviously have no clue. The blog post on Sony didn't really give details on effectiveness, more just word flair on the presentation of the animation. The armor perk for the armor will be giving you your limbs a little bit more resistance so they won't be broken, as well as the booster makes it to where when you pick up an individual sample, there is 15% chance that you will get another for free. Decorated Hero is the title, and honestly probably one of the best titles we've had yet. If you are anything like me, you've always wanted to rock the Super Earth flag as a cape, and now that's going to be happening. Stratagem wise, we have the Super Earth flag that you can wield as a spear and wave around to show off your patriotism. Now, the Sony blog post did mention that it would inspire fellow Helldivers nearby, yet I can't tell if that's also just flavor text to hype it up, or if it will be genuinely providing a buff to nearby Helldivers. That's kind of everything of note coming in the new WARBOND. I didn't mention, but of course there is a Superstore armor set that is very reminiscent of an old knightly general's armor and has a more black and gold type vibe. Now, the community's reaction to this WARBOND has been kind of unhinged. There is a lot of backlash Arrowhead is getting. Some is genuinely good criticism, and I share some of the hesitation. A lot of it, however, is just unbridled anger. So I will address some of the more quick to dismiss unhinged stuff I've seen. I've seen YouTubers call the Amendment Rifle a reskinned Constitution, which is obviously not the case as the models don't even look at all the same. The Amendment Rifle is based off the Mark 14 or the M14 Springfield or EBR from COD, with an FG42 mag release and is semi-automatic, while the Constitution is based off the Springfield M1903 rifle that is 1 bolt action and reloaded by round. They share the aesthetic, but to call it a reskin is nonsensical. As well as I've heard the WARBOND is lazy and that Arrowhead haven't dropped a new gun since the Eruptor, while literally last WARBOND added a new archetype of weapon with the Deadeye and plenty of others have as well. When it comes to the armor perks and boosters, I agree with people that honestly they are kind of bad. The armor perk is just a copy of another perk that's already in the game, since we already have armor perks that protect your limbs from damage or being broken, as well as the booster being only 15% is kind of insane and should be, if I pick up a sample I get another one just wholesale, because in today's economy for the most players base samples don't have any meaning and most are already maxed out. If it had to be a percent, then it should be at least 50%. I am dedicating an entire booster slot to a mechanic, so I should get something more than 15%, and that's just me. Now, I see a lot of people going hard on the Super Earth flag stratagem. I'm kind of torn because there is criticism to be had there. However, a lot, and I mean a lot of the backlash is also kind of unhinged. People saying Arrowhead is lazy when literally people on Reddit, in the official Discord, hell, even in my chat on stream, have asked to be able to use the Super Earth flag as a spear. So when they listen to the community and add it to the game and get mad at them and call it lazy is kind of weird. As well as people talking about the reused animations. So one, when it comes to attack, yes, it does reuse the animations of a spear / thrust animation for attacking. However, if we are going to be mad that they're doing that, then we're also going to have to talk about how all the Liberator variants share the same animation. I didn't see anyone complaining then about that. Are we also going to talk about how the Diligence and Diligence Countersnipe share the same animation? How about the Sickle and the Scythe sharing the same overheat animation and sound? This just feels like a random BS factoids to bolster an argument when it's completely fine to just say you don't like the flag or wish it wasn't a stratagem. It's like you're trying to justify why you don't like it when no one's really asking you to justify it. As well as there is actually new animations tied to the Super Earth flag. As you can see in the teaser trailer for the Warbond, you can actually see the guy waving it around, which also leads me to believe that it does provide a buff, possibly, because if it is just a stratagem, then I am going to be a little disappointed if it's just a pokey stick. Yes, in my opinion, making them a flagpole, a stratagem slot is kind of a misplay, since unless it provides a kind of buff that is alluded to in the Sony blog post, this would literally just be a meme pick, which kind of segues into the main complaint I see from people. Everyone is calling it a mid warbond, a bad warbond, a meme warbond, because it doesn't provide an obvious power spike or shift in the meta of Helldivers 2. Yet my comeback to this is, does it need to? If every warbond we received was a power spike for us, then we would literally power creep the game to the point that it would become piss easy, and the same people who was pushing meta would complain on Reddit about how Helldivers 2 is losing its difficulty and identity. As well as melee divers only have 3 weapons they can spawn in with to use. So when warbonds, as they should, provide ways to engage with the game in a different manner, as well as bolster areas of the game that are lacking, our effectiveness on the field is not one of those areas. Giving melee divers a sword isn't a meme. Just because you and I don't use melee weapons, I've seen plenty of clips of peak physique Helldivers soloing Super Helldive with just an axe. People should be able to spread manage democracy in a way they want and not in the way you or I would want. In this warbond, power-wise, is it the best or better than usual? No. I ain't gonna pretend it is. But it provides a new vibe or way to engage with Helldivers, as well as the problem with warbonds being smaller, as Arrowhead has shrunk the amount of stuff we get in warbonds, and it seems like this is going to be the new standard size for them going forward. As I agree that 1, it sucks that that's happening, and 2, I would love bigger warbonds. As when this one drops, I'm gonna have the first 2 pages done since I'm max on medals. I'm not gonna levy this criticism solely at this warbond, as it's not unique to this one, because there's plenty of other warbonds the same size. This seems to be the new standard. As well as, if I'm being honest, I think they should just make $15 10-page mobilizations similar to the ones that came with the base game. I love Masters of Ceremony. It brings an aesthetic I want to Helldivers, and I can't wait to get my hands on the amendment and sword. Tell me what you guys think down below, as well as if you are looking to play with fellow Helldivers, think about joining the 2nd Liberation Battalion. As well as, thank you to all my channel members and coffee supporters for funding the dream. I'll catch you all later on the front. Be safe and don't drown.